The creator of the #1 manga was about to ruin it with the worst ending ever, but fate couldn't accept this generational fumble, so reincarnated the mangaka into his own fantasy with the greatest cheat ability imaginable. He woke up as Wong, bald head and all, the kind of chrome dome that would make Saitama and Vin Diesel shed a single proud tear. He barely had time to start plotting his cheat skill takeover before his childhood friend Xiao peeled him from the floor. The familiar Tamer selection exam wasn't going to wait for his scheming. The candidates, along with a huge crowd, gathered. For the first round, the participants had to choose a familiar egg and hatch it before the incense stick burnt out. I'm surprised Wong's head wasn't part of the eggs. Whatever. Xiao wanted to stand out like every self-proclaimed baddie on Instagram, so he went for the egg with the strongest spirit energy. Wong already knew Xiao would do that since he wrote the story. The other candidates didn't want to be left behind, so they also got to hatching. Wong took his time to look around, till a 2-star winged tiger caught his attention. Some egg nerd was about to choose it, but Wong stole it from him just like how 6ix9ine stole that gummo beat.
It's okay, give me that.
The smooth-headed rat hatched the winged tiger, and bonded with it in an instant. His achievement sent the crowd cheering. The examiner was stunned that someone in this backwater town hatched a 2-star familiar. Sadly, Wong was as bad as Elon Musk at naming things, so called his new familiar Goofy Tiger. The incense stick was about to finish burning, and those who could not hatch an egg wouldn't be able to form a bond with any familiar for 5 years. The final minute countdown begun, and Xiao still hadn't hatched his egg yet. He started to lose confidence until he saw Wong's knowing smile. Xiao accepted that he wasn't strong enough to tame whatever was inside, so he hatched a 0-star egg in the final seconds and bonded with the familiar pom-pom. Wong noted that familiars were spirits of heaven and earth. Some were living spirits and others were spirit tools. Their attributes and magical powers were based on their star ranks. 7-star familiars were the highest level and were as strong as deities. On the other hand, 0 stars were as worthless as the poop at the bottom of my shoe. Xiao was aware of this reality, so hid in a corner holding pom-pom like a teenage girl going through a breakup. Wong told him that there was no such thing as a bad familiar, only terrible tamers. These words resonated with Xiao. He promised to train twice as hard to make sure he kept up with his longtime friend. Xiao was shocked to see Wong breaking the egg he failed to tame. There was a golden liquid inside. The bald man grabbed Goofy Tiger and dunked it inside. He had encountered his first cheat. This was an unhatchable egg from a divine tree that refined a familiar's bloodline and significantly boosted its strength when drank. He left some for Xiao to aggressively baptize Pom-Pom. The second round of the test was about to begin, and it was a battle between the familiars to find out their abilities. The winner got a pass to the final assessment and would be taken on the airship. Wong stepped up and offered to fight all the candidates at once to make things quicker. The examiner allowed it since it wasn't against the rules. The other candidates got offended that he thought he could defeat them alone. Xiao tried to calm down the group, but they rushed past him to attack Wang. The hairless fool covered the arena with a mist and used the cover to beat down his opponents. He stood there victorious as the mist cleared. Everyone was a little confused because he was suddenly wearing a cape looking like Cape Baldy, but in 144p resolution. The examiner was impressed that he was able to use the magical power of his familiar to such effectiveness. Wang secured his place on the ship to East Pole Island for the final test. Xiao bid him goodbye as the ship left and promised to join him soon. Wang hoped that Xiao would stick to his training arc and level up because his strength would be needed for his plans. The Baldy met Huaki and his lackeys terrorizing one of the finalists as he passed by. He didn't want anything to do with the bully, so he warned Huaki not to mess with him. Huaki liked Wang's vibe and considered making him one of his subordinates. Meanwhile, the shiny head arrived at the testing rooms. Goofy Tiger had the resilience of a spoiled brat, so didn't want to enter any of them because they required going through punishment to reveal its attribute. Goofy tried to escape, but ended up in a cosmic-looking room that had jellyfish floating around. After the procedure, it was revealed that Goofy Tiger had both wood and wind attributes. Goofy's potential was at the heaven level. The duo went to get food after the test. Wong burnt his mouth on a hot drink and ended up looking like a freshly shaved Marilyn Monroe. Goofy felt sorry for him, so licked his wound. Wong smacked his familiar on the head as they left the cafeteria and warned it to never touch him again. That lick performed a miracle because Wong grew luscious purple hair. A girl with glasses tried to ask him for directions, but she was so smitten by him that she ran off. Wong was confused till Goofy Tiger showed him his new hair. He quickly realized that his familiar had the rarest and ultimate wood-type magic called Ever Spring. It could heal most wounds quickly and had the potential to affect reincarnation when mastered. Wong now set his sights on retrieving the spirit-merging pill. It was an ancient divine medicine that would allow the duo to pseudo-gain 4-star strength. When he was drawing his comic, He placed it behind a panel next to the control room door. He went on the deck to retrieve it but paused when the examiner patrol passed by. An announcement also came in to inform them that they were flying over Chingy Island. It was famous for its abundance of spirit herbs which could be used for alchemy. Wang's attention was drawn to his female admirer getting picked on by Huaki. The tyrant wanted to take her bird familiar and eat it. The other finalist hesitated to help the girl because Huaki's familiar was a 2-star. The examiners weren't going to interfere because fighting was allowed. Wang stepped up and demanded the bullies let the girl go. He started to talk down to their leader. Huaki wasn't going to take that disrespect and fused with his familiar. Okay, the power system in this show just got a little bit more interesting. Wang commended Huaki's effort, but didn't rate his transformation and called it a cheap knockoff compared to the real thing. Huaki launched a quick attack, but Goofy Tiger was faster as it whisked Wang into the air. The bald guy covered the area with mist. The ship captain cleared some of it by flying faster. However, it was still thick at the fighting area as the two clashed. Wang tired out Huaki with his movement and ended the fight with a heavy knee that sent the bully flying into the control room door. Everyone praised Wang for standing up to the oppressor. Goofy retrieved the spirit-merging pill in the commotion. Xian was the head examiner on board and got a little hyped with the fight. She wanted some of the action and tried to punish Wang for almost causing a crash with his little mist move. All he had to do was survive one strike from her, and he would be forgiven. Wang knew it would be game over if he agreed, so he gave a speech about how unjust it was for her to punish him for helping the oppressed. He hopped off the airship since he got everything he needed. Chingy Island was the perfect next stop, because he could use the herbs to refine the pill. He also recalled that there was a useful lady on that island. However, bandits were going to raid her village soon. Goofy Tiger was holding him as they flew down, but it let go of Wang to sneeze when his hair started to shed and got in its face. He started to free fall, and below, Bai-Ji and her friends were picking some herbs when they spotted a falling object. They thought it was a star. She made a wish for someone to come take her from this boring life. During that interval, the bald gang who had been terrorizing the island had lost their leader. Xiong proclaimed himself as the new boss because his predecessor's vulture familiar had accepted him. His big claim was halted when Wang crash-landed into the gang's hideout. Everyone got on high alert, ready to beat down the intruder. They didn't even realize that Xiong got knocked out by the impact and laid there like he was sunbathing on a sunny day. The gang instantly let their guard down when they realized that Wang was bald. They were friendly to those who were hair deficient like them. The vulture familiar didn't accept the newcomer and tried to attack, but Wang swiftly eliminated it and turned it into a bucket meal for the gang to enjoy. They all confessed their hatred for the creature. Xiong had woken up at that point and tried to suck up to Wang because he was clearly going to be their new boss. Wang didn't fall for the fake compliments and knocked him out. He also made him the official toilet scrubber for the gang. He then used Goofy's healing ability to grow the hair of his new subordinates, which completely won them over. Captain Bald wanted them to help him with something. The following morning, some of the guys went into the woods with their new hair and captured the attention of Bai-Ji's friends. They lured the ladies back to their village, leaving Bai-Ji alone, but Wang was up on a tree observing the moss head. He couldn't get her attention by saving the village from the bandit attack since he took over the gang before the incident. Wang saw his opportunity when he noticed her chilling with her untrained but rare familiar named Kui. Just when he thought they didn't have much to show, Bai-Ji and Kui unleashed a huge earth technique that almost knocked him out. Wang was in awe at the scale of the attack. He dropped down thinking he was some kind of guru as he offered to help train her. But the girl was more interested in Goofy. She was also a little creeped out because Wang was flashing his underwear not knowing he tore his pants while trying to evade the earth spell. He tried to get her attention again with the classic Kabadon, but his hair fell out, which ruined the whole seduction vibe he was going for. She was impressed by how smooth and shiny his head was. Things got worse when his subordinate's hair also fell out, and they got chased off by the village women. The ladies felt like the bandits tried to scam them. Wang joined his men in the retreat. However, Bai-Ji didn't think they were bad guys. The bald gang regrouped at their hideout, where Wang told them about his plan for them to stop being bandits so that they could begin bettering themselves. Bai-Ji started to come around the gang's base and became friendly with them. Her natural kindness attracted plenty low-level familiars that the bald boys tamed, which made the gang stronger. Kui later erected a stone castle that Wang made his home. The bandit leader made a special hair-growing potion, along with some other goods which were sold at the village. This positive service and Bai-Ji's words changed the residents' opinion on the hairless criminals. Within a month, Wang had gathered all the herbs needed to refine the spirit-merging pill. He planned to complete the process that night, but he had a bad feeling. He was right, because Bai-Ji returned to the village to find it empty. Xiao startled her when he appeared behind her. The guy had joined the Falcon Squad, and they had gathered all the residents at the village square. He escorted her and introduced his new friends. The captain of the squad was called Li Hui. He got everyone's attention and revealed that they had been sent by the East Council to wipe out the Bald Gang. The residents had a concerned look on their faces after hearing this. B.King explained that the bandits had been reformed under their new boss. The Falcon Squad didn't care and only saw the gang as evil. Later that night, Wang had fully refined the pill. He couldn't be disturbed for 4 hours after taking the pill because his body had to absorb it. He was one step closer to becoming a god and making his way back to his world. He split the pill with Goofy Tiger. As he rested, B.King came to warn the gang about the Falcon Squad's plan. Sadly, they tailed her right to the HQ. Xiao had his reservations about attacking. Li Hui understood his point, but the captain felt like it was their job to uphold justice. They attacked the HQ just as B.King arrived to warn them. Everyone rushed out as the front gate burned. They tried to hold off the Falcon Squad without disturbing their boss. Xiao came in with his familiar, which was now named Tung Yuan. It expanded and crushed everything, leaving the criminals defeated. The squad proceeded to the fort, but they couldn't breach it with their attacks. Li Hui told his men to stand down because he had an idea on how to get Wang out. Wang had just finished absorbing the pill, but Goofy was still breaking it down, so was sleeping. The bald boss was alerted by the commotion and peeked outside to find B.King tied up to a pillar ready to become barbecue. The villagers were also captured and charged with sympathizing with the criminals. Xiao objected to his captain's actions, but he was told it was for justice. Wang tried to convince himself that he wasn't going out to help, but he found himself jumping down and landing with a powerful blow that knocked out the aggressor and freed B.King. The other members of the Falcon Squad launched their various attacks with their 2-star familiars, but Wang evaded them with ease. He taunted them to do better, so Yue introduced himself with a swing of his bamboo blade. Wang was confused because Yue was the second lead in his manga, but he wasn't supposed to be on the island at this point in the story. The captain ordered everyone to stand down while he attacked with his 3-star familiar. Its fire-type attribute was a bad match for Goofy's wind, but Wang still wished for his partner to wake up, because one hit from Li Hui's attack would be terrible. All he could do was evade for now. The others tried to slow him down with follow-up shots, but they missed. Xiao was ordered to help, because Wang was now taking down the fodder in their unit with crazy speed. Xiao recalled Wang's advice on how to deal with fast-moving opponents. He used it and sent Wang flying into the door. Xiao felt guilty, but couldn't sit there and watch his teammates get hurt. Xiao didn't recognize his childhood friend because of the long purple hair, but I think he's as blind as a bat. The captain followed up the direct hit with an explosive technique that seemed to hit Wang. B.King started crying, thinking he was sent to the afterlife. Li Hui instructed his men to execute everyone else for their crimes. Xiao protested the residents' innocence as the fire was about to engulf them. Luckily, Goofy Tiger woke up just in time and fused with Wang. Naturally, his body started to heal. B.King got a glimpse of him before falling unconscious. She was relieved that he was okay. The bald boys also teared up with joy to see that their boss was alive. The Falcon Squad couldn't believe Wang performed a battle familiar fusion. Li Hui ordered everyone to attack at once. Wang took the attack head-on and stepped out unscathed. He was excited to test out his new attack power. He had the fodder dropping to the ground like flies with each strike. The captain knew that Wang had the power of a 4-star, but before he could fully process the information, the bandit leader hit him with an uppercut that had him lifting off like a rocket being sent out on a mission to find alien life. His familiar caught him mid-air, but Wang was too fast and smacked him back down. Xiao and Yue stopped Wang as they apologized on their captain's behalf and begged for mercy. Wang was high on power and refused to stop, so Xiao and Yue launched a joint assault that was quickly squashed. As they lay there defeated, Li Hui escaped and took B.King hostage. He planned to eliminate her as soon as he got off the island. The captain noticed Zhang running through the woods. Li Hui shot him in the leg and confronted him. It's revealed that the captain eliminated the old bandit leader so that Xiang would take over and commit evil. This would have created the opportunity for the Falcon Squad to come in and save the villagers, which would further build Li Hui's good reputation. Unfortunately for the captain, some of his top subordinates followed him. They overheard everything and witnessed him slay Xiang for his incompetence. B.King regained consciousness just as Li Hui was silencing his nosy lackeys. Wang caught up eventually, so the captain used her as a human shield and forced Wang to stand down. He had to stand there and take a volley of fire shots to prevent the moss head from getting hurt. Li Hui enjoyed inflicting pain. Kui tried to stop him with a cheeky bite but was smacked to the ground. B.King cried watching Wang getting tormented. Kui crawled over and activated an earth attack as soon as she touched B.King. Li Hui took huge damage as he was knocked into the air. He didn't know that she was also a tamer. The captain got salty that she got the best of him and tried to finish her off. but Wang came down with an epic punch that left Li Hui and his familiar under the rubble dead. Xiao and the others arrived soon after. They were informed of their captain's evil plot by their colleagues before they met their demise. Xiao apologized again, and Wang chose to spare them because they were also fooled by their leader. Xiao cried because he felt like an idiot. They buried the 3 casualties from their squad and withdrew. Later that night, a mysterious guy used an ability to revive Li Hui to find out what happened. Meanwhile, Xian with her new hair color was relaxing on the deck when she received an order from Chief Counselor Qin Cheng to go to Qinghe Island to investigate what happened to the Falcon Squad. She was reluctant to go, but that quickly changed when she saw the wanted poster of Long, which pointed him out as the main suspect. During that interval, Long and Bai Ji had already left the village and found themselves at Bahuang Island. The guards there were extra vigilant, looking for any suspicious bald people and the gang leader. A crowd gathered around Wang because of his dashing looks. One of the guards thought he looked like the wanted boss but didn't act on it. Wang tried to appear sophisticated, but he was coughing up blood as a side effect due to the strain he put on his body during his battle against the Falcon Squad. The duo went to get some tea where Wang noticed an abnormal number of tamers around. The stall owner revealed that Lord Bahuang was holding a martial arts tournament where the winner would marry his adopted daughter. They would also be given a dark iron token. This worked out perfectly for Wang because he came to the island to find Lord Bahuang to get the token. It would clear his wanted status like hiding from the police in GTA. Xiao Xiao, who looked like handsome Squidward, declared to Wang that he would win the daughter's heart because he saw the guy as his main rival. His proclamation ended when a fully clad knight knocked him out for making too much noise. All the candidates later gathered to begin the dangerous trek to Lord Bahuang's location. Wang used his knowledge as the author to trick many of the candidates to take the wrong path, which led to them getting injured. Wei Wen and Daxing were a little smarter and didn't fall for it. They ended up getting ahead of the group and waited for them to catch up because they suspected that there was a trap along the narrow passage ahead. Xiao Xiao was confident that he would be fine if he just speed ran through it. The other dumb candidates followed him and got crushed by a rock slide. Those who waited passed through without getting injured. The group eventually arrived at Bahuang's compound as it started to rain. The old master wasn't going to let the weather ruin his tournament, so he unleashed his aura into the sky. The rain got scared and cleared up. The candidates cheered and gave Lord Bahuang ultimate hype. Wang thought the old timer was just a show-off. He hopped down and was flattered that his name commanded this much respect after so many years in isolation. The senior citizen was also impressed by the number of young talented men who came for his daughter's hand in marriage. Wang took this opportunity to make a strong first impression. He introduced himself in a poetic way and stroked Lord Bahuang's huge ego by giving him a cape that stated that he was undefeatable in the East. The old man loved it so much that he was about to name Wang his new son-in-law. The author just wanted the dark iron token, not marriage. So he coughed up some blood to show that he was frail. Lord Bahuang hated weak men. He blew Wang back with a flick, then called Xiao Xiao up and complimented him on his robustness when he got up from a palm strike. The other contestants wanted to show their sturdiness and begged him to hit them. The armor-clad knight smacked Xiao Xiao with the helmet and revealed herself to be Keenan. She didn't think any of the candidates were good enough for her sister. Her rant was cut short when Xiao Xiao's body suddenly exploded with some red threads that attached to the other contestants. The energy gathered from them was used to fire a blast Lord Bahuang blocked. A strange parasite landed on Teenan's hand, which she swatted off. Wang highlighted that it was a blood bait used by the Dark Tamers. The leader of this assault was called Lu Shi, and he taunted Lord Bahuang because his familiar apparently died in some incident. The old man was livid that they used vile sorcery to cause such damage, and smacked his fists together, which sent an energy wave toward their attackers. The Dark Tamers managed to nullify it as Lu Shi stood there with a smug look on his face. Wang quickly figured that they were able to stop such a high-level technique, because they were using the power from the Blood Driver Catastrophe spell. It was first used in the Council Calamity arc in the original story. The spell was kept active by the elite Dark Tamer group Blood Eye. This was done through the sacrificing of Tamers and their familiars. Wang, Daxing, and Wei Wen thought it would be a great chance to win some brownie points by stepping up to face the threat. However, Lord Bahuang wasn't going to let the youngsters risk their lives while he was around. He revealed that the remains of his 6-star familiar Baxia became Bahuang Island. The old timer used the lingering power of his companion to rain down a meteor shower that wiped out the Dark Tamers. Lu Shi barely escaped with his pathetic life. He knew he would be burnt toast if Bahuang fired that technique again. Wang was close enough to see that the old timer had used up all his power. He helped the pensioners save face by insisting that he allow them to finish off their ambushers and stopped the spell. Lord Bahuang was low-key happy to hand over to them. Lucy used this as an opportunity to retreat for now. The old-timer noticed that the youngsters still had juvenile familiars, so he gave them spirit seeds that could trigger their combat forms before they set off. Wang wondered what kind of power-up Goofy was going to show, since he had already taken other buffs. A bunch of dark tamers tried to stop the group from advancing, but Daxing volunteered to hold them off while the others went ahead. Keenan was moved to tears by his sacrifice. Wei Wen was next to take one for the team when his bugs informed him that another wave of enemies were coming. The rest of the group were later stopped by the dark tamers that Daxing was supposed to be dealing with. They assumed that the guy got defeated. Wang and Bai Ji let Tianan proceed since she was the highest ranked among them and had the best chance of stopping Lucy. As soon as she left, Wang used his mist to cover the area and escaped with Bai Ji. They arrived at the Spirit Flower Sea, which was a place where they could level up. Their plan was interrupted when the mysterious necromancer, who we will call Bone, caught up to them. He was excited to finally meet Wang. Wang was confused as to why all these high-level interactions were happening so early in the journey. Bone assured him that he had nothing to do with the Blood Eye organization. However, he did want to see Wang and Goofy's combat power. Wang didn't hesitate and fused with his familiar. Bai Ji wasn't about to let him face this fate alone, and used a gravity technique to pin Bone in place. Wang rushed in and smacked him through the clearing. Bai Ji suddenly started to feel funny and soon collapsed. Bone fixed his broken neck as he revealed that her spirit energy had become unstable. Wang was sure that her body couldn't take the stress of using a big attack shortly after she took the spirit seed. Goofy Tiger couldn't heal her since it wasn't a physical injury. Bone took an interest in Wang and offered to help. Wang was a little uneasy as Bone fed Bai Ji and Kui his natural ketchup. He was still grateful for the help, and decided to show this by informing Bone that the energy from the Blood Driver spell can be absorbed to increase the strength of both Tamer and Familiar. Bone was impressed with his knowledge about the world, and followed Wang to the core of the spell while Bai Ji rested. They quickly found the location and busted in on Lu Shi's ritual. Wang let Bone deal with Lu Shi as he took a closer look at the core. During that interval, we find out that our selfless heroes Wei Wen and Daxing were cowards who ditched the fight and escaped. They both met at a dock that was attacked by the Blood Eye group. The chickens fought to get on an airship that had docked, but little did they know that it was Jian's vessel. Their investigation on Qinghe Island naturally led them to Bahuang Island. She was livid that the Dark Tamers caused so much chaos to her hometown. She mobilized her unit ready to take revenge. Her hair changed from white to blonde as they headed out. Yao Chen was also one of the officials on board, and had romantic feelings for Xian. Through him, it's revealed that Xian is the adopted daughter that Lord Bahuang was holding the competition for. Yao Tian felt like Xian was the only woman worthy of marrying into his prestigious family. Below deck, Wei Wen and Daxin were held captive for deserting. Xiao and Yue had also been thrown in there to be questioned about the Falcon unit incident. Tinan took a detour and found the deserters on the ship. She berated them and gave them one last chance to make up for their crimes. Xiao and Yue were also given the opportunity to clear their names. All the while, Lu Shi was defeated by Bone off-screen and forced to escape. He hobbled in the forest like a wounded animal. He came across Beiji and tried to attack her to restore his energy. Sadly for him, she seemed to have gained a sinister power-up and wasn't going down that easy. Back at the spell core, Wang and his new friend begun to absorb the energy when Bone told him that Lu Shi had encountered Beiji. He also told him that Xian and her unit were closing in. Wang had no other option but to quickly drain all the power from the core. That turned out to be the right move because Jian released an epic sword slice that busted up the cave. Wang came out in his leveled-up fusion form with Bone by his side. The council members assumed he was also a Dark Tamer. Bone welcomed them by absorbing the souls of some of the fodder soldiers and using the energy to rain down blasts at those who remained. He lured Xian away, leaving Wang and Yao Tian to face off. The noble also had a winged tiger as his familiar so used mist to cover the battlefield. Wang realized that it was much thicker than the one he produced. He didn't have time to admire it because slices of wind energy were fired at him, which he caught without effort. He countered with a punch that Yao Tian blocked with a family relic, but the heirloom shattered during the exchange. Wang tried to use the core of the spell to cause a huge explosion, but Xiao came in with his familiar and swallowed it before it could detonate. Yao Tian caught Wang off guard and hit him with an energy blast that sent him crashing into the forest floor. Bone and Xian's fight didn't even start because he surrendered. All the while Wang quickly recovered from his hit. He realized that Goofy had unlocked its combat form and inherited some of Baxia's power. His tamer mark had also changed. Wang went to look for Beiji and found her unconscious next to a tree. The area was wrecked from her battle, and Lucy laid there defeated. She finally woke up after he called to her, but she couldn't recall anything that happened. Wang knew there was something wrong with her, but for now wanted them to go claim their reward from Lord Bahuang. Everyone later gathered at the airship, and Bone was brought on board heavily bound like it was 50 Shades of Grey. Wang was surprised that they got him, but what really shocked him was that Bone didn't expose him. Nevertheless, Wang wanted to find a chance to get some answers on what he did to Beiji. Yao Tian disturbed his thoughts to size him up. Wang was given the credit for defeating Lu Shi. Lord Bahuang also spoke highly of him, so the warrant for his arrest was revoked. Yao Tian grew up with a silver spoon, so didn't like having the same things as others, so he asked Wang to break his contract with Goofy. Wang was stunned by the stupid request, but Yao Tian gave him time to think about it. Xian watched Wang from the top deck and contemplated cutting him down since he won her father's martial tournament. She turned her attention to trying to figure out why the Blood Eye organization attacked the island. They hoped to get some clues by interrogating Bone. Soon after, the ship arrived at East Pole Island, and it was a metropolis. The villagers who had never been to the big city before were impressed by the sights and sounds. Their gawking was cut short when a bombshell announcement was made. They mistook Wang in his fusion form as the leader of the group that attacked Bahuang Island. That version of him was a wanted man again, but no one knew it was him. He gave the girls his card to go on a shopping spree while he went to meet with Chin-chan and the other senior members of the East Council. He presented the dark iron token given to him by Lord Bahuan and warned the senior members that someone was planning to cause trouble during the exam. In his original story, it was a dark tamer that infiltrated to steal the legendary evil blade, Blood Prison. He made a request to be made an examiner, which was granted because he had an iron token. Wang later met up with Beiji and asked her to pretend she didn't know him while he was in his bald form. All the while, the familiar named Sylph watched Wang through one of the camera feeds and was smitten by him. She was an assistant examiner. Yao Tian wanted to make a temporary contract with her so that she could aid him. She rejected him because she wanted to work with Wang instead. During that interval, the candidates gathered for the first round of testing. Xiong saw the moss head in the crowd and asked about the bandit leader, but she lied, stating that she didn't know his whereabouts. Their attention was drawn to Yue, who had bumped into his fellow clansman called Hong. The arrogant, emo haircut-looking idiot mocked Yue for using a bamboo blade and losing the right to use a sword. Hong sarcastically wished him luck before leaving. Two of the senior tamers interrupted the chit-chat to start the first test. The candidates were to use their familiar's strongest attack against the sky pillar, which would change color based on the rank of the familiar. The color didn't matter. However, there was a pass mark that the color had to reach for the candidate to proceed to the next stage. The higher the color traveled up the pillar, the stronger the attack. Senior Tamer Yi demonstrated for all to see. The first guy failed and was left crying. Baiji was called up next, and her nervousness was shown when she unleashed her stone attack. She totally missed the pillar and almost hit the other contestants. Her fear of getting eliminated and not being with Wang triggered that sinister power to manifest again. Kui turned into her adult form as the duo perfectly controlled their earth attack, which wrapped around the pillar, so they passed. Xiong commented on how amazing she was, but the mosshead didn't recall what happened. Yue was up next and passed with an impressive ice attack. It also indicated that his familiar was a 2-star. Hong just had to one-up Yue, so he damaged the pillar with his unauthorized attack. The other candidates were in awe, but the senior tamers were not. He had to apologize for his interference, because he was a seeded contestant who got an automatic advance to the second round, so there was no need for him to participate. A few other people failed before Xiong was called up. Everyone looked down on him because his familiar was 0 rank, but the haters were stunned into silence when Xiong's attack lit up to the top of the pillar, while also causing damage. Yi noted that there was a rumor that the pom-pom species carried a special bloodline that had the potential to evolve into a legendary top-tier familiar. A wine bottle came flying toward Xiong as he celebrated. He knew it was his childhood friend that tossed it. Bald Wang was happy to see that Xiong made it to East Pole Island. Their reunion was cut short because it was his turn to attack the pillar. Goofy transformed into a combat form, which surprised the senior tamers because they had never seen a winged tiger that looked like that before. T's familiar revealed that the hairless fool had trained a new combat form for the winged tiger. This class of rookies were seen as highly talented. Wang shot some wind blades at the tower. The color perfectly reached the pass line. Those without patience started to talk trash. Little did they know that the shiny head mined aura more than any looks-maxing guru. Wang walked away with the classic hand in pocket as the pillar exploded like a Michael Bay movie. The seated contestants watched from the balcony, kind of surprised that a regular contestant could be this strong. The salty emo tried to downplay the feat. All the top seeds had different reasons as to why they wanted to pass the test. Some craved high status and power, while others wanted the chance to pick any treasure from the famous vault. Whatever the case was, they wanted to win. Later that night, two random losers drowned their sadness with tipsy juice when they were almost attacked by sinister Beiji, but Wang sensed that something was wrong and swooped the moss head away before she could do any damage. She came back to her senses confused by what was going on. The bootleg Saitama just told her that she was sleepwalking. He later paid Bone a visit and demanded to know what he did to Baiji as he ruffled him up a bit. He was aware that Bone let himself get captured because he was cooking up some plan. Wang stated that he could use his new position to have him transferred to another island. Bone started to talk. He gave Wang the antidote to the undying wine curse, which was triggered when Baiji drank his natural ketchup to recover. The curse caused a personality shift like the guy from the movie Split. He also coughed up a compass that would lead Wang to a special location, but all he wanted was for Wang to inform him when he got there. He threatened to expose Wang if he dishonored their deal. Meanwhile, the next round of the test was about to start. The chief examiner for this round was named Kun. He explained that each candidate would be sent to a unique illusory realm, which they would have to clear alone. The top-tier familiar of the former chief counselor, called Sea Mirage, would be the one sending them there. It was also the main defense for East Pole Island, and the reason Dark Tamers couldn't attack the HQ. All the while, Wang took his examiner position and formed a temporary contract with Sylph, who was fangirling over him. He knew that she was only loyal to the most handsome tamer around. Obviously, Goofy was not happy with the newcomer, so there was some friction. Yao Tian tried to bribe Wang to let him have Sylph in exchange for anything he wanted from the Ling family relic vault. He ignored the noble and hopped into the illusory realm. His current goal was to give Baiji the antidote and retrieve the blood prison blade. He observed that the glasses girl he saved earlier was named Yue Shu. She was a germaphobe whose fighting spirit only activated when she came across dirt. The other contestant battled their various illusions, but the head examiner was stunned to see that Baiji had cleared an advanced difficulty illusion. She was shot to the top of the rankings. Wang didn't want that kind of attention on her. He first went to Xiao Xiao's illusion and confirmed that the antidote worked by poisoning the animals with Bone's blood before giving them the antidote. Some of the infected creatures ended up attacking Xiao Xiao. Wang asked Sylph to give Xiao Xiao a score higher than Baiji for defeating them. This made him number 1, thus removing the spotlight on her. Wang returned to his bald form so that he could take the exam. He used his examiner's token to pick his illusion. He chose the test site that had the best hidden warp point to the restricted zone that housed the blood prison blade. He was confident that the Sea Mirage familiar wouldn't easily notice his intrusion. The main issue was that he had to face a stronger version of himself in his trial. Yao Tian realized that someone had shown up late for their test and went to check. He arrived at Wang's illusion. The bald guy had covered the place in mist, so the copied version of himself started to attack Yao Tian, giving him the chance to slip away into the restricted area. The compass that Bone gave him reacted to the blood prison blade and alerted Sea Mirage to his presence there. Wang quickly left before he was wiped out. He now understood that Bone was also after the blade, and the restricted area was the location he wanted to get to. He decided to break down the compass and sprinkle it all over the creatures in the illusion. They absorbed it and went wild. It also destroyed Bone's link, so he didn't know what was going on outside now. All the while, the other examiners watched the remaining contestants when they were alerted to the creatures going berserk. Qin Chang ordered them to continue with the test. The strong contestants survived and moved on to the next round. Yao Tian defeated Wang's copy, so Wang passed. This is a prime example of not doing the group work but getting top marks anyway. He entered the victor's room and was heading straight to Baiji to give her the antidote, but Xiao stopped him to express his joy to see that he also passed. He was forced to stop again when Examiner Kun started to give details on the next test. It was going to be a group battle between random teams with each candidate fighting a total of 5 matches. Winners got 3 points, 2 was for a draw, and 1 for a loss. The top 4 contestants with the highest scores after the battles would proceed to the next test. Wang tried to link up with Baiji again when he bumped into Gudan. He was another character that appeared much later in his original story, and he was also from the West Council. Wang was confused as to what he was doing on East Pole Island. The candidates started to get sent to their respective battlefields. Wang gave Goofy Tiger the antidote to deliver to Baiji, but the familiar ended up getting transported with her. Wang appeared in his stage and quickly realized that Goofy was not with him, meaning his fight was just about to get a whole lot more difficult. The first thing on his mind was to link up with his teammates, but unfortunately, he ran into an enemy. The big-boned enemy attacked with his twin puppets, but Wang dodged looking like he was doing a terrible Michael Jackson impression. He heard commotion ahead and rushed there only to find that his teammates were Yueshu and Huaki, and they were at each other's throats. At this point, another enemy had joined them. Wang had to get his teammates to turn their attention to their opponents. So he hyped up Huaki by calling him boss, then he got Yueshu the germaphobe livid by knocking the fatso's burger to the ground. He knew the food addict would use the 3-second rule to justify vacuuming the food from the ground and into his mouth. Sadly, Wang's team were captured by the enemy's trap before they could do anything. Just as it seemed like they were about to taste defeat, Nailuo came out of nowhere and took out her own teammates. Turns out that she was a servant at Huaki's household, and he saved her from some bullies when they were little. She was more loyal to him than her random teammates. Nailuo took out Yueshu next, because she was being cheeky to her master. Huaki wasn't happy that she helped him because it made him look weak. He started to beat her down and told her to fight back, but she couldn't. Huaki forced her to raise her hand against him by threatening to kick her out of the family if she lost the fight. Nailuo couldn't hit him, so destroyed the floor below their feet to make him fall into the lava below. Wang surrendered as soon as she turned her attention to him. The contestants were given a short break before being thrown into their second matches. Wang currently only had 1 point since he lost. His next battle was at the Black Dragon Mountains. He was teamed up with Nailuo and Bai Fei. They were surrounded by tall grass and the enemy was approaching. The egghead tried to explain that they didn't need to fight, but Bai Fei burnt the field to remove their cover, leaving them vulnerable. Wang had disappeared before the smoke cleared. The girls quickly got overwhelmed by the other team and got captured. Meanwhile, Wang climbed up the mountain because this illusion realm was built around a trap. Both teams would get destroyed by the high-rank 4-star dragon at the top of the mountain if all they focused on is the fight. However, if one of the candidates could gain the respect of the dragon, it will spare their team and wipe out the opposition. Wang didn't have his familiar, so he had to gain the respect of the dragon through showing grit. After taking an epic beating, he made the black dragon an ally and used it to wipe out the other team. The girls were confused as to why it didn't attack them and started to badmouth Wang for ditching, but little did they know that he was the one who saved them. He laid on the dragon exhausted as it flew away. Elsewhere, Yue and Baiji were teammates and had to face Hong. The arrogant emo had defeated the girl and Goofy, along with destroying the bottle holding the antidote. He was currently thrashing Yue while calling him useless for getting sealed and rejected by every sword. Yue didn't care because he found his way of fighting, which was to fuse the energy of his familiar into his bamboo blade. He hit Hong with an ice attack, but it wasn't enough to defeat him. The emo cut Yue down as he recalled their childhood. Baiji got severely injured next. The system confirmed her elimination, but she gave control of her body to the sinister power so that she could survive and protect those she cared about. Wang woke up in the infirmary after his encounter with the dragon. The nurse gave him the all-clear to join the competition, since the healing flower on his head had sprouted. He was transported to his next match. The terrible stench in the air almost knocked him out. Xiao Xiao was on his team, but he quickly realized that the guy was hallucinating. Wang also found himself in the same situation, but before he could do anything, he figured that it was caused by a contestant's familiar. All he had to do was sever the mental link with the caster, so he drew a picture that traumatized both himself and the caster Yu Li. Yu Li was livid that his eyes had to see such content and controlled those still under his illusion to attack Wang. Baiji was in her sinister state and had Goofy Tiger tied up as she enjoyed the sight of Wang getting beaten up. Yu Li made things more difficult by summoning the monsters he gained control of. Baiji gave Wang a fighting chance when she hurled Goofy to his side. The hairless guy wasted no time and wiped out everyone with a windblade barrage. He went looking for Baiji and learnt that the bottle for the antidote got broken. He had a light exchange with the moss head when he finally found her. She didn't want to fight him, so surrendered. Wang called to her when she was walking away and threw Goofy as soon as she turned. The familiar stored some of the antidote in its mouth and administered it. Baiji came back to her senses before falling unconscious. The ranking was getting tight going into the fourth match. Those who faced Wang in the matches when he didn't have his familiar were in for a rude awakening when he wiped them out with ease now that he had Goofy. His final match ended with his victory placing him fourth in the rankings. Xiao came first. Gudan finished second after defeating third-place Hong. The finalists were given a longer break before the last test. Wang used this time to head back to the restricted zone. This time he was able to enter without being caught. He was stunned to learn that the cursed weapons Storm Slayer and the Yinglong Jade Soul were also sealed with the Blood Prison Blade. The council in his original story didn't have this many high-level cursed weapons. He told Goofy to stand by ready to heal him because he was about to take a lot of damage in order to break the barrier. His attempt was interrupted when Bone joined him after escaping from captivity. He didn't come to fight Wang, but started to drop tea about ancient times. A powerful warrior named Xuan Yuan used the 10 high-level weapon-type familiars to slay the evilest dark tamer, called Qiyu. The weapons remained in the world, and the new wielders could get stronger by eliminating one another and absorbing each other's power. The mayhem caused by these battles and the darkness the wielders were thrown into was why the weapons were called the 10 cursed weapons. Bone saw the other weapons as family and wanted to release them. He pushed through the barrier. Wang followed and tried to prevent Bone from retrieving the blood prison blade. The smooth head was thrown into Bone's memories. The guy was a young boy, part of the Zhuanyuan clan. One day he and his friends went to a forbidden area and were attacked by monsters. The cursed weapon Xiaohao Bone was sealed there. It called to him, and he accepted its help in order to save himself and his friends. Those who were chosen became the cursed weapon after fusing with it. His father ran painful experiments on him, stating that he was trying to save him. But one night he overheard his father talking about how the cursed weapons are the enemy of the Zhuanyuan clan. His dad didn't hide his hatred when he realized that his son heard everything. Bone lost control and destroyed the clan compound. That was when his current master appeared before him and gave him a new purpose. Wang wondered who this master was. He returned to reality, but Bone was still stuck in his memories. The natural thumbhead tried to retrieve the blood prison blade, but it repelled him. He guessed that the presence of the other weapons made it difficult to force a contract with the blade. Wang decided to retreat for now and wait for another opportunity to take the weapon. He left with Bone, who regained consciousness while in the air. The cursed weapon decided to work with Wang since their current objectives aligned. He dropped Bone in a lake when they got far away enough. During that interval, the sea mirage was preparing the stage for the final test. It was getting a little bit more sluggish than in the past, but Ti and Yang understood that the familiar had lost its master, and it was also protecting the island while hosting these tests. Ching Chang's call paused their discussion. He informed them that the chief counselor had ordered the senior tamers to reinforce the front line. The leader of the Blood Eye organization and the Bangquan mask had appeared on the battlefield. The ladies were worried that the East Pole Island's defenses would be too vulnerable with so many high-level tamers gone. Ching Chang assured them that everything would be fine since the 6-star familiar was around. The finale of the exams was still held, and it drew a huge crowd. It was going to be a battle royale between the top 4. Hong withdrew due to personal reasons, so Xiao Xiao took his place since he finished 5th out of sheer luck. Xian was the highest-ranked tamer left on the island, so supervised the competition. Yao Tian and Tianan were by her side. Wang was excited to see how much Xiao had grown. They gave each other an epic high five before entering their portals. Wang went to find some action and stumbled on the battle between Gudan and Xiao. It was a well-matched fight because they both had familiars that could multiply and keep attacking if they had enough spirit energy. Gudan didn't like the purity in Xiao's eyes and tried to snipe him with a cannon shot. Wang made it in time to block the attack. He told Xiao to stay back because he was too inexperienced to take on such a foe. Baldy wasn't surprised when Gudan blocked his attack because the guy had the 4-star familiar known as the Royal Chivalric Order. Gudan had to get serious and summoned the Queen. Xiao didn't want to be left out, so he teamed up with Wang. The Baldy couldn't remember the ability of Gudan, but he got a rude reminder when Xiao stabbed him from the back. The Queen had the ability to take control of someone for 3 seconds. Xiao fell into despair when he realized what he had done. He started to absorb the spirit energy of the Sea Mirage, which evolved Tang Yuan to a 3-star as it took the form of a giant whale. It came down like a bomb on Gudan, but he managed to withstand the strike. His mask broke in the process, revealing his identity. Everyone got angry when they realized that he was from the West Council. The East hated them more than the Dark Tamers because they abandoned the Eastern forces during the war against Heaven. This led to the former chief counselor to be fatally injured. Gudan was immediately kicked out for breaking the rules. Xiao later woke up on top of Goofy. Wang explained what happened. Xiao Xiao wandered around thinking that everyone was too scared to fight him. A sudden crack in the illusion realm caught their attention and almost pulled Xiao and Wang inside. The egghead knew something bad had happened to Sea Mirage. He was right because Bangquan Mask launched a devastating assault on the stadium. This was the attack Wang tried to warn them about. Bangquan Mask used his shapeshift ability to take the form of the previous chief counselor. It completely fooled Sea Mirage, allowing him to get close enough to remove the familiar's heart. He then broke the seal holding the cursed weapons. Jian knew it was the imposter and attacked, but she was smacked down like they were in mortal combat. Bangquan Mask allowed the cursed weapons to feed on the terrified people. The blood prison blade didn't follow his command. He could see that it already found a new master, and it was someone who had a winged tiger. Back in the illusionary realm, Wang had to expose his purple hair identity to Xiao so that he could use the examiner seal to teleport back. During that interval, the novice tamers tried to clear a way for the people to evacuate. Baiji felt a painful pressure in her chest ever since Bangquan Mask appeared. Xian continued her attacks, but they did as much damage as a newborn punching a boxer who has a good chin. Yeoshin tried to help with a blast, but it did even less damage. He excused himself as soon as he realized that he didn't stand a chance. Bangkwan Mask chased him down because he wanted to confirm if he was the winged tiger user who the evil blade had accepted as its master. The candidates unleashed a combination attack to try and stop the Dark Tamer, but that failed too. Baiji caught his attention as he revealed that she had a high concentration of the Zhuanyuan clan blood running in her veins. Bangkwan Mask tried to drain it from her and increase his power, but Wang hit him with some wind slices that forced him to let go. Wang called him out for putting his hand on a lady. For a moment, Xiao was puzzled that Wang was able to wound Bangkwan Mask. The savior took a quick scan of the situation and concluded that the Dark Tamer was much stronger than his original story. Xiao pled with Wang not to attack Simiraj's heart, just to inflict damage to Bangkwan. They would need it to revive the familiar later. The blood prison blade rushed to Wang's side, confirming its choice. Bangkwan urged him to accept the cursed weapon, but Wang rejected it for now. The villain threatened to eliminate everyone in the stadium if he didn't form a contract with the weapon. Wang was in a predicament because he would get in trouble with the council if he publicly merged with the evil blade. His other option would be to fight Bangkwan, but he and Xiao were not strong enough to defeat the villain. The duo teamed up anyway and dashed in, but the bad guy used one of the 6-star familiar's techniques to stop them. Wang was smacked down, and Xian was bound like a wild animal. Bangkwan gave Wang a few seconds to fuse with the blade. He already started to prepare his attack on the masses, so Wang stepped up as everyone begged him to let them die. He grabbed Blood Prison and the dark energy engulfed him. In that interim, Yao Tian went to his family's vault to equip himself with any power weapon and relic he could get his hands on. He also gave the order to gather all their troops on the nearby islands. Elsewhere, Bone was beating down some knights when the bracelet started to resonate. He figured that his master had found someone compatible with a cursed weapon. He stopped what he was doing to go see what was going on. Back at the stadium, Wang yelled in agony as he tried to prevent Blood Prison from devouring his soul. Bangkwan revealed that the evil blade had the fiercest malice among the 10 cursed weapons. He didn't think it was possible to resist its corruption. The dark energy dispelled, marking the end of the internal battle. Bangkwan was certain that Wang had fallen. The villain wasn't surprised that he made his way to Baiji to devour her, because it was normal for him to crave Zhuanyuan blood after becoming a cursed weapon. Wang pointed the blade in Baiji's face, and she was happy to be devoured by him. Bone made it just in time to see the best part. Bangkwan encouraged Wang to drain her, but he turned around at the last minute and cut the villain down. Wang never lost his consciousness. Evil Guy was surprised that he managed to keep his wits and conceded this time. However, he was looking forward to their next meeting. The mastermind was using a puppet body, so Bangkwan disappeared, leaving the mask. Bone rushed out angry that they defeated his master. He activated his weapon ready to fight, but Wang quietly struck a deal with him which caused him to retreat for now, but he promised to avenge his master. Wang's attention turned to the Mosshead, whose main job in this story was to faint. He was sure that her spirit energy would settle once her familiar reached 3 stars. It was the cursed weapons that awakened the Zhuanyuan blood in her. As the author, Wang knew that Xiao also carried the same blood. Xian was sure the council reinforcements would arrive soon, but she promised to testify that he was forced to form a contract with the evil blade to save everyone. Wang was relieved to hear this, but it was short-lived when an arrow hit his chest. Yao Tian had come with an army to destroy Wang for fusing with a cursed weapon. Everyone thought it was unjust that they were going to punish Wang for saving East Pole Island. Xian and some of the other tamers were not going to let them harm him. Wang didn't want any more bloodshed. He acknowledged that he had become a cursed weapon and was willing to seclude himself to learn how to control it. The crowd continued their protest. Wang knew the council would eventually right this wrong when they assessed the situation. He hoped that he would have full control of the blood prison blade by then, so that he could make a grand return and make himself look better. Sylph was still fangirling and wanted to follow him into exile. He was happy to have her since her skills would be useful. Sylph found a fragment of Simiraj's soul and returned it to the heart as the nurse tended to it. Everyone thought that the situation was settled. However, Yao Tian's rant about eliminating Wang woke Baiji up, and she wanted to prevent that possibility. She ordered Kui to enter her combat form and attack the army. The familiar had the ability to make her pillar weapon any size, so she made it huge and used it to swat the army like they were mosquitoes. Yao Tian tried to block the attacks with the numerous relics he brought along, but the pillar just smashed through all of them and sent him crashing into the ground. He was smacked in the face before he could recover, which made him eat more dirt. Wang blocked Baiji's finishing blow and told her to stop. He couldn't believe how weak Yao Tian was and started to wonder if he paid to get his rank. Yao Tian was still trying to make threats even after the beatdown he just experienced. Xian berated him for fleeing the battlefield and then attacking a fellow council member. She ordered him to leave East Pole Island and reflect, His actions would be reported to the chief counselor. Baiji would also be punished for attacking the Ling clan's army. Wang pled for them not to be harsh since the Mosshead was ignorant to how things worked in high society. Xian was confident that the council would be lenient because her attack didn't cause any fatalities. Tienan interrupted to report that Si Mirage's soul wasn't merging with its heart. The soul fragment flew over to Xiao and went into his body. The lad entered a dream world where the six-star familiar revealed that he carried the true Zhuan Yuan blood like its previous master. This was why he could hold Si Mirage's soul fragment. The familiar wanted to heal while resting in his body. Xiao was too weak for now, so Si Mirage was going to hide his Zhuan Yuan blood so it wouldn't be exposed to Banquan Mask. It also gave him the 5-element seal, which was a taming art that made the previous chief counselor world-renowned. The familiar told him to train hard and get stronger. Meanwhile, at the stadium, Baiji returned to normal. Wang wondered if the fierce nature she just showcased was due to her Zhuan Yuan blood awakening. She was sweet and naive if her eyes were green, but tough and violent when they turned red. The Sky Patrol fleet arrived and fired at Baiji just as everyone thought the ordeal was over. The fleet was led by Yao Tian's uncles. He went to complain to them about being humiliated by Baiji and Wang. They were not going to let anyone disrespect the Ling clan and live. Wang tried to reason with them, but they wanted blood and unleashed a bombardment at the duo. Wang had no other option but to enter his fusion form. This posed another problem because in that form, he would be exposed to be the villain on the wanted list. Everyone was shocked by this revelation. Wang dashed up to the fleet and ripped the mast of one of the airships, causing it to explode in half. He found the ship that Yao Tian was on and threw the mast at it. Uncle Eyepatch got annoyed that Wang was flexing his brute strength. He fused with his ox familiar and shattered the mast with a single punch. Turns out the uncles were powerful and not fakes like Yao Tian. Wang turned his attention to the fleet and destroyed a few more ships as Sylph came up to confirm if Wang was truly the wanted criminal. She was horrified to see him in his fused form. Wang knocked her out with a flick and activated her item box ability. He tossed Baiji in there to keep her safe. The place was a mess, so she decided to organize it to kill time. All the while, Wang went to attack Yao Tian, but his uncles prevented the worst of the damage from hitting him. Wang released a new spell called Blood Mist that covered the area, giving him the chance to whack Yao Tian with a powerful blow. The mist also affected the crew and ship, bringing it down at the Ling clan's ancestral estate. Wang dragged Yao Tian to his family vault and used his hand to gain access. He opened Sylph's item box and vacuumed all the relics and weapons inside. Wang saw this as payment for the Ling clan ruining his whole plan. The uncles and their men surrounded the vault, demanding he release Yao Tian. Wang agreed if they allowed him to escape. In reality, that was his only option. He couldn't use the cursed weapon in his fused form since Goofy rejected it. The uncles granted him a 7-day head start before they chased him. Wang accepted. He landed some last-minute hits and threw down Yao Tian like he was used rubber. A couple of days went by, and a ceremony was held for the candidates that passed the exam. A moment of silence was held for the participants that lost their lives during the attack. Bald Wang was added to the list. However, a kill order was put on his purple hair identity. The newly appointed tamers were angry to learn that a hero such as Wang was treated like this. Xiao couldn't believe that things turned so bad for Wang while he was unconscious. Yui advised him to relax for now because he could be of help to Wang by being in the council. Xiao was inducted into the inspectorate department and appointed as a censor. The lad felt sad despite achieving his goal of becoming a tamer. He had even become a disciple of the Si Mirage. All the while, Wei Wen and Daxing decided to join the Sky Patrol fleet, stating they wanted a shot at hunting and taking out the criminal. Elsewhere, Xian was getting frustrated because the Ling clan were causing trouble, and she couldn't get hold of Qing Chang and the chief counselor to report them. She decided to go to her father for help. Turns out that Qing Chang was around, but he wanted to let things play out as it was going according to his plan. Wang and Baiji had taken refuge on an island. He was in his bald form, and Sylph felt like she got scammed. She didn't like hairless, creepy criminals. She demanded he let her go and tried to escape, but Wang wasn't going to let her go with his treasure. Baiji later returned from her scavenge with some berries. She felt guilty for causing this issue and was worried about Wang's health because he was popping pills like he was at a festival. He assured her that everything would be okay and he was in perfect health, but in reality, his energy stores were very low. Things got worse when the Sky Patrol fleet found them. Wang didn't want Sylph escaping, so he knocked her out and opened her item box. Baiji wanted to help him fight, but he shoved her in the magic space again. He sealed Sylph in his Tamer emblem before fusing with Goofy, ready to take on the fleet of airships above them. The Ling army were ready this time and created a magic shield using their ship formation. This kept Wang at bay, while also allowing them to shoot their energy blasts at him. He tried to counter by focusing his attack on one part of the barrier, so they strengthened it by deploying their spirit lock links. During that interval, Xian went to Lord Bahuang and explained the situation. The old-timer gave Wang maximum cool points for his actions. He gave his support by giving Xian a device she could use to contact her second senior brother. She wasn't sure if he would make it in time, because the guy was at the front lines. Back at the ambush, Wang continued his substance use and downed a potion that recovered some of his energy. He released a huge blood river mist that covered the area, thinking that it would give him some protection. However, the blasts still managed to find him. The uncles were using the south-pointing chariot relic, which allowed anything to be tracked if a sample of the target's spirit energy was fed into it. They used the crystals from Wang's blood technique. Meanwhile, Daxing and Wei Wen started their plan by knocking out the captain of their ship. They moved it to the front line to get closer to the action. Wei Wen used his mosquitoes to locate Wang. They smuggled him onto their ship and snuck him out. He thanked them for the help and flew off since it wasn't the time for small talk. The boys did it for their own motives and benefits. Wang was later taken in by the Ministry of Works. They had the technology to interfere with the south-pointing chariot's tracking. This allowed them to get the Ling fleet off their tail. Baiji was confused as to why a faction from the council was helping, while another was trying to send them to their maker. Wang also didn't know the internal politics, but he was confident that it would be made clear to them. Tai's familiar popped up on a communication mirror and explained that Wang needed to escape to the neutral territory since he just made an enemy of the Ling clan. They were one of the major clans in the council. None of the 4 councils had jurisdiction in that area. All the while, Qing Chang was informed that the Ministry of Work had allied with the Bai and Ye clan to help Wang. Qing Chang was interested to see how things would play out. Wang was later summoned to the infirmary for treatment. His body was analyzed by the starlit rejuvenation vine. It put him in a deep sleep to help restore his energy. The medicinal toxins in his body were also cleaned at the same time. Baiji returned to their room and found the communication mirror broadcasting a video announcement from the 2 unks. They had captured the residents of Baiji's village and charged them with aiding her. She was given 7 days to turn herself in if she didn't want the villagers to be executed. She stopped herself from informing Wang because he needed to recover. Her despair only grew as she blamed herself. She didn't know how she was going to save her people alone. A voice told her that she could do it if the battle was going to be on her home island. She entered her internal world and met her other personality for the first time, the red personality called the green weak and foolish. The red personality revealed that they were always one, but her body was too weak to hold both consciousness at once, so one falls asleep when the other is active. Baiji now understood her blackouts and gaps in memory. Her savage personality showed the times the villagers abandoned her when danger came, and asked if she wanted to save such people. Baiji highlighted the good memories with them, like how they took her in when she had no one. She saw them as her family and wasn't going to forsake them. Her ruthless personality was disgusted, but struck a deal with kind Baiji. A couple of days passed, and Wang woke up from his power nap. The nurse informed him that the tree was only able to recover him to 70%. The rest of his recovery would have to be done slowly over time. Wang asked of Baiji when he didn't see her around. He was told that she left with Sylph. He threw his shirt on like he was late to work, and told them to turn the ship around when he learnt that the Sky Patrol fleet took the villagers hostage to bait her. He ordered them to take the shortcut through the astral gale layer, which was dangerous, but he didn't care. The nurse tried to assure him that the council would handle the situation, but he wasn't going to take that risk. Baiji's cold-blooded personality had taken over and made Sylph use the Penglai mirror to teleport to her home. Qing Chang got an update on the situation and wanted Wang to be sent to the neutral territory no matter the cost. During that interval, Xiao went to request the files on his best friend's case. He overheard the breaking news that Wang was heading to the island right into the fleet's trap. Xiao dashed out and left the files because he had to report this update to Xian. Meanwhile, the uncles had set up their base at Wang's castle. They were impressed by the defenses of the structure. Uncle Eyepatch was a little embarrassed that they were using ordinary civilians as bait. His rant was interrupted with Baiji's arrival. The south-pointing chariot wasn't reacting, which confirmed that she came without Wang. Uncle Eyepatch was sure that he would turn up. He entered his ox form ready to fight Baiji in the meantime. The moss head was confident in her chances of putting up a good fight. Qinghe Island was her hometown, and her familiar Kui was born in its wilderness. As the tamer of a mountain deity from the island, she could temporarily use a 4-star ability, which was controlling the ley line energy of the area. Baiji and Kui absorbed the energy from her surroundings to create a powerful earth golem. Its giant fist came down on Eyepatch, but he managed to withstand it. Her power got him excited as they clashed, but Uncle Red pulled him back, stating that there was no need to fight her solo. The fleet deployed the 2-star military familiars called Heartlink slugs. Wei Wen explained the blue slugs could create a barrier. The red slugs attached onto people and used their spirit energy to sustain the barrier. The people took damage when the barrier was hit by the trapped target. The special thing is that outside attacks could pass through without harming the maintainers of the barriers. Baiji figured this the hard way when she tried to escape the barrier and heard the cries of pain from the villagers. They were being used as the power source. She could break free, but she would slay her family in the process. She had no other option but to only defend against the volley of energy blasts the fleet were firing at her. In that interim, the Ministry of Works ship was getting battered by the lightning storm. This was what made the astral gale layer so dangerous. Wang stepped out on deck to try and harmonize the power of Goofy and Blood Prison because he would need the evil blade if he was going to take out the two uncles. The nurse had put everyone on the ship to sleep because she wanted to talk with Wang. She interrupted his training and introduced herself as Chi from the Inspectorate's Intelligence Division. She explained the political instability in the council because of the Ling clan faction and the anti-Ling alliance. The Inspectorate Division was aware of the Ling clan's arrogance and recklessness, and they agreed that they needed to be punished. However, the anti-Ling alliance wanting to use this opportunity to take down the Ling clan could lead to a civil war, so she pled with Wang to stand down and continue his journey to the neutral territory. His cooperation would be rewarded with his own island and return to the council when things calmed down. He got annoyed that they expected him to abandon Baiji at her time of need. Wang made it clear that he wasn't some do-good hero who would sacrifice his woman for the greater good. The anger from his rant allowed him to finally tame Blood Prison. Chi and the others evacuated the ship as Wang made the final descent to the island. Ching Chang was irritated when he heard this because that decision was about to ruin his plan. All the while, Baiji continued to take the bombardment. The old lady that raised her couldn't take it anymore and told her to forget about them and escape. Some villagers didn't want to die and told her to shut up. Ruthless Baiji wasn't going to abandon the people since she made a promise to her nice personality. The uncles were about to finish her off when the south-pointing chariot started to point at the sky. Debris from the ship rained down as Wang dived in nose first. Baiji was relieved to see him. He leapt off and entered his fusion form, but Unk Eyepatch attacked him mid-air, causing him to come crashing down. The bull came down with another strike with his beetle axe, but Wang blocked it and exchanged some epic blows as they bashed one another. Uncle Eyepatch was surprised by Wang's power. Uncle Red realized that his brother was getting overwhelmed, so he tried to distract Wang by targeting Baiji. She barely managed to fend him off. All the while, Wang's combination of strikes broke through the bull's defenses and sent him flying. He looked like he was about to cry as he tried to figure out how Wang was so strong. He was sure he was about to die when Wang picked him up from his head like an NBA player one-handing a basketball. Luckily, Wang paused his finishing blow and turned his attention to help Baiji. Unk Red managed to bind Wang, which gave his older brother the chance to also hold on to his wing. Wang wanted to save Baiji so badly that he tore off his wing to attack Unk Red. He landed a heavy blow that sent Uncle Red crashing. The guy summoned his octopus familiar again, which apprehended and poisoned Wang, but he broke free and started to beat down Unk Red like a UFC ground and pound. The bull tried to stop him, but Wang shrugged him off like he was annoying. Unk Red's face looked like a botched plastic surgery by the time the ordeal was over. The crew on the ship saw that their bosses were in trouble and fired at Baiji. Wang rushed over and blocked it. This gave the uncles a chance to escape to their ship. Uncle Eyepatch ruined the couple's touching moment when he ordered all cannons to fire. Wang equipped Blood Prison and deflected the blast which destroyed some ships. He then proceeded to personally bring down more. He returned to Baiji's side and stood there. She knew that he had lost consciousness due to pushing past his limits. The bull refused to accept defeat, so he took control of one of the cannons and tried to shoot at Wang, but Xiao interjected. He made it clear that anyone that fired at Wang would lose their lives by his hand. Xian also arrived with a warship which was given to her by her brother. She ordered that the barrier around Baiji be deactivated and the villagers be freed. Wang was also told to stand down because the council would punish the Ling clan. They didn't know he was unconscious, so took his lack of a response as him still being hostile. Baiji wasn't going to let them see him collapse to the ground, so she supported him as she took him away. Xian allowed them to leave. Xiao thought that Wang ignored him because he didn't stand by his side sooner. Elsewhere, Bone got attacked by the wielder of the War Master's grip. It was a cursed weapon that allowed the wielder to copy the abilities of any artifact-type familiar. Bone was cornered at the edge of the cliff with the astral gale layer below. He jumped into the lightning storm when his attacker demanded he hand over the mask. As that was going on, Xiao Xiao continued to fail his way to power when he came across the curse weapon Stormslayer. We all know that it was going to choose him. I mean, the guy ended up coming first place in the Tamer exam for doing nothing. We cut back to Bai Ji, who took Wang to a place where he could recover in peace. Back at East Pole Island, Ching Chong punished the Ling clan for their actions by dismissing the two uncles of their command of the Sky Patrol Fleet, as if the beating Wang gave them wasn't enough. Yao Tian was also removed as the captain of his unit. T had to forfeit 6 months' salary for the Ministry of Works role in this incident. On the other hand, Xiao got a promotion for his quick thinking that helped diffuse the situation. He was also tasked with finding Wang and righting the council's wrong toward him. As the acting chief counselor, Ching Chong made it clear that they needed to stand as one to deal with the 10 cursed weapons that had re-emerged. And that, my people, brings the anime to an end. Thanks for watching. Now go level up. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.